Hey, welcome back to Al's Joint. Today we'll delve into the South African-born would-be President Elon Musk and his attempt to gut all our federal agencies. So let's take the gloves off and let's get at it. So our would-be President Elon Musk has taken a hammer and a chainsaw to some of our federal agencies. His Dodge website brags about cutting over 200,000 American jobs from some of the most important agencies in our country. In addition to that, 75,000 Americans were given a buyout so that they could avoid being terminated. Of those 200,000 jobs, 2,000 Americans were cut from their jobs at the Nuclear Security Administration and the Department of Energy. I guess Elon Musk thinks we don't need nuclear security in this country anymore. 400 people were cut from Homeland Security. Listen, folks, these are real people we're talking about. Everyday Americans, mothers, fathers, sons, daughters, neighbors, folks who have mortgages, car notes, kids in college, medical bills. These are folks that could have took a different path, could have worked in other industries, but they chose to work in civil service jobs for their country. Never in a million years did they thought that a South African would come to our country and tell them in the middle of their career, go home. Your insurance stops here. We don't care about your mortgage, your car note, your children. Go home. The hypocrisy that exists wherever Trump is amazing. And folks turn a blind eye to it or come up with an excuse. In his first term, Donald Trump spent $152 million golfing. $152 million at the golf course. And guess what, Americans? He's going to smash that record in this term. He's already off to a blazing start. If you notice, he was at the Super Bowl and at a NASCAR event. Another $10 million. I'm sure those thousands of people who were terminated could have kept their job if they'd have directed that $152 million towards them. I'm sure that $10 million they spent at the Super Bowl and at the NASCAR event could have went to maintain some of those American jobs that were lost. How many other American jobs are going to be lost? And the other question is, where are those folks going to be? Because right now, they're unemployed. What's the goal? 500,000 people on unemployment? Is that the plan? 200,000 people now. 400,000 people next month. 600,000 people by the summertime. Over 500,000 people out of work. Everyday Americans out of work. You better worry, folks, because the model's been set. Every employer in this country is going to look at this model and say, let's use this as an excuse to downsize, to cut our employees, to cut benefits, to cut wages. That's how it works. They have a blueprint. And you can't complain because you sat back and watched hundreds of thousands of your fellow Americans lose their jobs for no reason. Not because the industry dried up, but because your would-be dictator decided that he was going to cut the workforce. We have a would-be president from South Africa who seeks power. Think about it. Why would a billionaire, the richest man in the world, decide to take a job in the American government, in our government? He doesn't need the money. We've been here before, folks. History has a way of repeating itself. And the MAGA cult, they cheer. They make excuses. Trump needs a vacation. Wouldn't we all like to go on a $152 million vacation or a $10 million vacation, not using our own money? He's supposed to be a billionaire. Tell him to pay for his own golf expenses. Tell him to pay for his own Super Bowl expenses, his own NASCAR expenses. But the MAGA cult, they follow their master blindly, even if it means that they'll lose their job, because they've been promised something. They've been promised that you vote for Donald Trump and Elon Musk and you're elevated in society. So they get to turn a blind eye to everything that's going on. This is scary, folks. I'm extremely worried. We have to fight back. We have to push back. The MAGA cult's not going to push back. If you notice, I didn't say Republicans because all Republicans aren't MAGA cults or aren't MAGA cultists. Some Republicans are fighting back. The MAGA cult is not. The MAGA cult is fueling disaster that he's creating. The MAGA cult is urging him on. At some point, we're going to figure out the dark MAGA plan. At some point, it's going to come to fruition. The only question is, will there be anything left to defend, or will there be anybody left to fight? Elon Musk is taking his computer programs into every federal agency. Think about that. What does that mean? Why are you taking these computer nerds into all these federal agencies and giving them access to all the information of the American people? Will somebody please inform Elon Musk that the White House and the Oval Office belong to the American people, and that you can't wear a hat or have your child disrespect the president while you're holding court, and then have the audacity to compare yourself to JFK? We know JFK. We love JFK. Elon, you're no JFK. Okay, let's pivot to the would-be dictator, Donald Trump, in his first 60 days in office. If we're being honest, Trump isn't the brightest bulb in the lamp, but the bar's been set so low that his supporters will allow him to get away with anything, while the rest of us is stuck with the embarrassment that is our president. In his first 60 days, he attacked Mexico, and President Sheinbaum of Mexico kindly embarrassed him on the world stage. Then turned his attention to governors of blue states. Governor Hochul of New York had to read him the law. She had to explain to him what he couldn't do in the state of New York. He then tried to bully Governor Mills of Maine. Even though she repeatedly told him that she intended to follow the law, he tried to bully her. And when she pushed back, he threatened her with sanctions. Somebody needs to tell Donald Trump that if he keeps poking a bear, he may get bit. If the states decided that, hey, taxes flow up, they don't trickle down. We're the United States of America, where states have autonomy. So what if the states decided that they would keep their tax money, pay their own bills, pay all the folks who work in Washington, they would get paid from the state. And then at the end of the year, similar to what Elon Musk put out the federal employees, show me what you've done for me and we'll pay that bill. Show each state what you've done for them and let them pay you accordingly. You talk about efficiency. How could you get more efficient than that? We have to make sure that we're not in a position where we're just going to be embarrassed repeatedly over the next 3 years. We have to let the world know that what happened with Donald Trump and Macron on live TV isn't the norm, where a foreign president has to correct our president because he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. I'm embarrassed. I don't know if you're embarrassed, and I'm angry. Although I'm angry, I'm also deeply alarmed. In 1946, the people of Germany and Poland said that they didn't know. In 2016, the American people claimed that they didn't know. In 2024, we knew, but some people just didn't care. Last but not least, I want to get a shout out to my sister, Joy Reid of MSNBC and The Readout, a person that I watched religiously over the last year, seen her grow. Really appreciated her take on things in our community and how it affected us politically. I want to let folks know that we haven't seen the last of Joy. She's going to land on her feet. You know why? Because she's too damn good. Take care.
This episode of Al's Joint is brought to you by Jackpack.
So you say Trump got shot in the ear that miraculously recovered in 2 days. And you had grown men and women in the cult wearing a maxi pad on their ear in a show of solidarity. That says a lot. As for Kamala, two things you can be sure of. One, she would not have reversed the savings on prescription drugs for seniors and for folks who are in dire need. She would not have allowed a Nazi to cut 500,000 American jobs. Don't forget to tune in and join us next week as we discuss all the hot political topics and we fight against tyranny and Nazism. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share below. Thank you. Let's get at it.